Even if I can defeat Holy Lady. I will not do it. Blood Moon Elder gritted his teeth and clenched his fists. Swoosh. As the Blood Moon Elder finished his sentence, the Blood Moon Holy Lord raised his right arm slightly, and a red gleam penetrated Blood Moon Elder's glabella instantly. Just as Blood Moon Holy Lord was about to attack, Han Sangming took a step forward and dispelled that red gleam with the wave of a hand. Han Sangming, why do you want to be in my way? Blood Moon Holy Lord looked at Han Sangming coldly. A hint of confusion could be seen on Han Kangming's face. He did not know why either, but it was as though all of this was a given and that was what he should do. I did not look for you, and you came to offer yourself instead. This is good too though. As Blood Moon Holy Lord spoke, he turned into a blood-colored shadow and flew towards Han Sangming. In just a moment, Han Sangming and Blood Moon Holy Lord were locked in a battle dozens of miles away. Blood Moon Elder still had not recovered from the shock at this moment and looked at Enchanting. Holy Lady, did you betray Holy Lord? Betray? Enchanting frowned deeply. When had she ever betrayed Blood Moon Holy Lord? Ever since the war at Xianling sect, she had never seen Blood Moon Holy Lord at all. What betrayal could there be? Furthermore, she did not do anything over this period of time. Enchanting could not understand what outrageous thing she did for her cheapskate brother to want to suddenly kill her. The Blood Moon Elder understood when he saw Enchanting's confused expression. He more or less knew what Enchanting had done over this period of time, and she indeed did not do anything that betrayed the Blood Moon Holy Lord and the Blood Moon sect. Furthermore, although Enchanting was Blood Moon sect's Holy Lady, she had not much connection with Blood Moon sect in reality, and there was no such chance to betray it even if she wanted to. But why did Holy Lord? The more Blood Moon Elder thought about it, the more confused he was. A thought suddenly struck Enchanting. She looked at the severely injured demonic creature on the ground. When this demonic creature chased after them earlier on, it said that someone wanted her life, and Enchanting thought that the demonic creature was perhaps referring to someone from the Yu ancient clan. But thinking about it now, it did not make much sense as that demonic creature was a member of the Yu ancient clan after all. Could it be that the person that the demonic creature said was the Blood Moon Holy Lord? It was the Blood Moon Holy Lord who helped it to break Ling Yan's realistic illusion, as he wanted to kill her with the demonic creature. Thinking of it now, perhaps only the Blood Moon Holy Lord could easily break the realistic illusion with his skills. However, Enchanting could not understand why the Blood Moon Holy Lord suddenly wanted to take her life. If the Blood Moon Holy Lord wished to kill her, he could have easily done so when they first met a long time ago. Why did he have to wait until this day? Moreover, Enchanting faintly sensed that although Blood Moon Holy Lord wanted to kill her, he seemed to be unwilling to do it himself. Regardless of giving the demonic creature a chance to kill her or ordering Blood Moon Elder to do so, it seemed that he wanted to kill her through others. Given his skills, it was clearly simpler for him to kill her himself. Enchanting found the situation increasingly strange. Furthermore, judging from the reactions of Blood Moon Holy Lord and Han Sangming, it seemed that they knew each other as well. What exactly was going on? More and more questions flooded Enchanting's mind, and it was probable that she would not be able to understand the current situation in a short time. Chapter 1132. This is impossible. 1. Since that was the case, Enchanting stopped thinking about it and took out a pill from her space ring to consume. In a few breaths' time, her complexion was finally better. Currently, Han Sangming and Blood Moon Holy Lord were fighting outside the city, and she was pretty safe in the meantime. Enchanting first looked at the demonic creature and then at the Blood Moon Elder. When Blood Moon Elder refused to carry out the Blood Moon Holy Lord's orders earlier on, Enchanting was a little touched. Enchanting immediately looked at the Blood Moon Elder and spoke. Oh right. Didn't you want to possess a male powerful figure? There is one here. Time is limited. You must hurry. Blood Moon Elder was stunned after hearing Enchanting, and he followed Enchanting's gaze. His lips twitched when he saw that the person that Enchanting was pointing to was actually the demonic creature on the ground. Was she freaking kidding? Although he was a woman currently, he was at least a human. Now, he could not even be a human anymore. What the hell is this thing? Can it be possessed? Holy lady, this place is not safe to stay for long. Let's retreat quickly. Blood Moon Elder held on to Enchanting and wanted to leave without uttering a word about the possession, acting as though he did not hear Enchanting at all. If this demonic creature returned back to the outside world, it is at least in the arcane supremacy realm. It may even be in the heavenly venerate realm. In addition, it has perfect defense and strength, Enchanting mumbled as though she was talking to herself. Blood Moon Elder immediately stopped in his tracks, and he looked at Enchanting after thinking for a while. Holy lady, it's not important whether it is powerful or not. The main thing is that I like this body as it is very manly and domineering. I like it. However, before Enchanting could continue to speak, a blood-colored shadow suddenly leaped towards them and appeared beside Enchanting in a flash. Younger brother, Enchanting frowned deeply as she looked at the Blood Moon Holy Lord, who was inches away. Blood Moon Holy Lord looked at Enchanting coldly as though he had no emotion. In the next second, Blood Moon Holy Lord's overpowering aura instantly enshrouded Enchanting. What are you doing this for? Enchanting asked under the pressure of the Blood Moon Holy Lord's overwhelming aura. Enchanting believed things should not be as such between her and the Blood Moon Holy Lord and was all the more unclear why he wanted to kill her. Instead of facing suffering and misery in the future, why not just die earlier? The Blood Moon Holy Lord looked at Enchanting and said coldly. Enchanting was slightly shaken. What was the meaning behind those words? Holy Lord, please pardon Holy Lady. Suddenly, Blood Moon Elder kneeled beside Blood Moon Holy Lord. However, Blood Moon Holy Lord did not spare him an eye. Don't blame me. Blood Moon Holy Lord raised his right arm, and a blood-colored bolt of lightning emerged in his palm. However, before the Blood Moon Holy Lord could take any action, the Blood Moon Elder suddenly grabbed the Blood Moon Holy Lord's legs. Holy Lady, quickly run. The Blood Moon Elder turned to look at Enchanting and shouted loudly. Then, the Blood Moon Holy Lord looked askance at the Blood Moon Elder and enshrouded him in his boundless aura. Quick! Holy Lady! Quickly escape! Blood Moon Elder saw that Enchanting did not react and shouted again. Chapter 1133. This is impossible, too. Before Enchanting could speak, Han Kangming's body flashed by, and he grabbed the Blood Moon Holy Lord's shoulder from the back before hurling him several hundred meters away. Are you very anxious? Han Sangming looked at the Blood Moon Holy Lord and asked. Blood Moon Holy Lord floated in the air and replied coldly. We can continue slowly after I deal with her. Han Sangming did not utter a word and rammed his fist towards the Blood Moon Holy Lord. Seeing that he could not get past Han Sangming, the Blood Moon Holy Lord could only accept the battle. Boom boom. 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 Deafening explosions filled the air as though a calamity was impending. Two shadows, one red and one white, interlaced and created ripples in the air. Holy Lady, quickly leave. Blood Moon Elder immediately grabbed Enchanting and dashed forward. However, before they could run far, a virtual image of an elderly appeared before them. The appearance of that elderly was exactly the same as the Blood Moon Elder's original looks. The Blood Moon Elder was stunned when he saw the elderly who looked exactly the same as his original self. Have you forgotten your mission? The elderly asked coldly. It was as though his voice penetrated through the netherworld and reached them. Who are you? Why do you look like me? Blood Moon Elder asked furiously. Who am I? The virtual elderly snickered. You're merely a split self of me. Why? Did you even forget about this? Blood Moon Elder shuddered when he heard what the elderly said, and disbelief filled his eyes. What was this person saying? He actually said that he was only a split self. Even Enchanting was stunned. Your existence is to be loyal to Blood Moon Holy Lord. Now that you wish to betray the Blood Moon Holy Lord, I'm afraid there's no need for your existence anymore, the virtual elderly said without emotions. Enchanting sized up the virtual elderly in the air and frowned slightly. This image of the elderly was formed using pure mental energy. His original self should be far away, and he used mental energy to enter this place. However, to possess such frightening mental energy and be able to execute a remarkable skill that crossed space, this elderly's true cultivation base was at least above the heavenly venerate realm. It was even possible he was even a holy venerate. I am your split self. Who are you kidding? Blood Moon Elder stared at the virtual elderly in the air and shouted furiously. He was no one but himself, a real and existing independent body. How could he be someone else's split self? Oh. After hearing what the Blood Moon Elder said, the virtual elderly snickered. Since you're so sure that you are not a split self, do you have any memories from when you were young? This Blood Moon Elder was shocked, and he tried his best to recall his youth, but to no avail, as though he had no youth at all. Ha, no wonder. You have already died once, and your true memories should be forgotten already. Since that's the case, let me help you to recall your identity. As the virtual elderly finished his sentence, endless mental energy immediately enshrouded the Blood Moon Elder. Many scenes appeared in the Blood Moon Elder's mind almost instantly. The Blood Moon Elder was astonished. He finally recalled his identity. Just as what that virtual elderly had said, the Blood Moon Elder was actually really just a split self of that elderly. Chapter 1134, This is Impossible. 3. 1,000 years ago, he was manifested by the elderly to follow and serve the Blood Moon Holy Lord for eternity without betrayal. They came to this mainland to search for a lady, and it was said that that lady was the reincarnation of the Heavenly Emperor's wife. Once the Heavenly Emperor's wife reincarnated and appeared, they were to kill her. This was the only purpose of their existence. However, time passed, and the reincarnation had yet to appear. 1,000 years caused them to gradually forget their initial memories. Blood Moon Holy Lord, Blood Moon Elder quivered slightly. Holy Lord is the mental manifestation of the Heavenly Emperor. I am a split self of the Heavenly Emperor's warrior. The purpose of our existence is to kill. Blood Moon Elder trembled even more intensely, and the last few words were trapped in his mouth. Just as he was about to say them, his eyes landed straight on Enchanting. Why is it you? Why is the person to kill? What are you saying? Enchanting was filled with surprise as she looked at the Blood Moon Elder. It seems that you finally recalled your mission. The virtual elderly looked at the Blood Moon Elder and said without emotions, since that's the case, what are you still waiting for? This lady is heavily injured. Kill her now and your mission is considered completed. The purpose of my existence, the Blood Moon Elder trembled as he looked at Enchanting. The very purpose of his existence was to wait for the lady before him to be born and then kill her. I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice ever since I exist in this world. The Blood Moon Elder's eyes dimmed gradually as though there was no warmth, and he approached Enchanting slowly. When he was just several inches away from Enchanting, the Blood Moon Elder suddenly turned around and slashed his sword at the elderly in the air. However, the elderly was manifested by pure mental energy, and the Blood Moon Elder's attack did not harm the elderly at all. On what basis do I not have any choice? The Blood Moon Elder's eyes were suddenly bright as he shouted sternly. I have my own thinking, experiences, emotions, and memory. I'm completely independent. Why do I need to be instructed by you? On what basis should I be an insignificant split self of you? If I can kill you, I can replace you. The virtual elderly was aloof when he heard the Blood Moon Elder and scoffed loudly. You're merely my split self. How dare you betray me and even think of replacing me? Forget it, since this is so, there's no point for you to exist anymore. Disappear. The virtual elderly raised his arm gently. As the elderly moved, the Blood Moon Elder uttered a piercing scream as though his spirit was experiencing unbearable torment. From afar, Enchanting frowned at the situation before her. At her peak, she was once a holy venerate and naturally knew how to collect a split self back. All there was to do was to use one's own mental energy to invade into the split self's body. Evidently, that elderly wanted to collect the Blood Moon Elder split self back at this moment. Chapter 1135, Protect, 1, Holy. Holy Lady, save me. The veins on Blood Moon Elder's forehead popped up as he looked at Enchanting. Enchanting walked forward, and a black demonic aura spiraled around her. The energy of the heavenly demon devouring bloodline was activated to the maximum. Enchanting placed a hand on Blood Moon Elder's left shoulder and used the energy of the heavenly demon devouring bloodline to devour the elderly's mental energy. Cooperate with me. Release all your mental energy. Enchanting looked at Blood Moon Elder grimly. Okay, Blood Moon Elder nodded repeatedly. Without any defense from the Blood Moon Elder, Enchanting's heavenly demon devouring bloodline invaded into Blood Moon Elder's mental level easily and fully guarded his mental energy fully with her bloodline. As long as that virtual elderly's mental energy invaded in, Enchanting's bloodline energy could devour it, and thus, the Blood Moon Elder could remain safe and not disappear. The moment Enchanting guarded the Blood Moon Elder's mental energy, an impressive amount of mental energy suddenly rushed from that virtual image of the elderly to the Blood Moon Elder. In just a moment, the Blood Moon Elder's body seemed to have suffered a huge impact and trembled uncontrollably. Enchanting's eyes darkened, and her grip on the Blood Moon Elder's shoulder tightened. That surge of mental energy wanted to invade into Blood Moon Elder's mind aggressively, but just as it filled him, the heavenly demon bloodline that Enchanting injected into the Blood Moon Elder's mental level was immediately activated. In the blink of an eye, the surging mental energy was completely devoured by Enchanting's heavenly demon devouring bloodline. The elderly, who was originally waiting to collect his split self back, was surprised by the situation. He clearly felt that the mental energy he released earlier on was entirely devoured by a force in a moment. Instinctively, the elderly looked at Enchanting, who was beside the Blood Moon Elder. Could it be that she devoured my mental energy? The elderly was uncertain, but he intensified the mental energy needed to collect the Blood Moon Elder back. Yet, no matter the extent that he increased by, all the mental energy that entered the Blood Moon Elder's body was completely devoured by that mysterious force in no time. What is going on? The elderly frowned slightly as confusion filled his eyes. Enchanting looked up at the elderly with eyes blazing with anger. As long as I exist, you can dream on about collecting him back. The elderly was stunned. It's you who devoured my mental energy. That's right. Enchanting admitted. Surprise flashed across the elderly's eyes. Never had he thought that Enchanting actually had the ability to devour all of his mental energy. However, he was just a virtual image formed by mental energy, and the majority of its mental energy was devoured by Enchanting already. There was insufficient energy to sustain this virtual image, much less collect back the Blood Moon Elder. The elderly in the air looked at Enchanting in worry and sighed. Holy lady, what did you call me? Enchanting's brows furrowed slightly when she heard the familiar form of address from that elderly. Chapter 1136, Protect, 2, Don't be shocked. I share the same memory as my split self. I feel the same, as how he feels to you, the virtual elderly sighed. Enchanting was a holy venerate in her previous life, and she naturally knew that the split self senses, emotions, and even memory could be shared with the original self. Plainly speaking, the Blood Moon Elder and this elderly were actually the same person. Holy lady, fighting alongside you over this period of time is a rare experience, the virtual elderly continued saying. Especially when I tried being a lady. However, no matter what, you must die. Being alive in itself is a cruel thing for you. What are you trying to say? Enchanting looked at that elderly questioningly as she felt that he seemed to know something. You're merely taking that old route once again. It was with Heavenly Emperor in the last life, perhaps it is the demon god this lifetime. However, you won't have any good outcome regardless. Instead of suffering endless torment and then dying, why not die earlier? The virtual elderly said. Demon god. Enchanting was startled when she heard the elderly mention the demon god. She had no relations with the demon god originally, but because of the heart in her body that was known by everyone as the heart of the demon god, everyone was after her life throughout her entire previous life. Now, this elderly mentioned the demon god and seemed to imply that she had some connections with the demon god. Enchanting found it bizarre. However, Enchanting took a deep breath and scoffed. What a joke. What is meant by a cycle and taking the old route? I don't know what you're saying, but there is one thing that I am very clear of. Enchanting looked up slightly. Her eyes were determined and bright. My life is in my own hands. No one shall think of controlling my fate. The elderly in the air shook his head. Actually, the elderly was unaware of what exactly happened to Enchanting and merely trusted the Heavenly Emperor unconditionally. Since the Heavenly Emperor wanted her life, he must have his own reasons. In the eyes of the elderly, the Heavenly Emperor's words were the only truth in this world. Regardless of the reason behind the Heavenly Emperor's actions, the elderly would support him unconditionally. All right. Since you insist on protecting this split self, so be it then. The elderly sized up Enchanting and disappeared slowly until he was completely gone. His mental energy was almost depleted, and this virtual image could no longer be sustained, thus, he could only leave for now. When he noticed that the elderly disappeared, the tensed-up Blood Moon Elder finally sighed in relief, although it was evident that he still had not recovered from the shock. He turned to look at Enchanting in gratitude and spoke. Thank you. Thank you, Holy Lady. Seeing that the elderly had left, Enchanting removed her hand from the Blood Moon Elder's shoulder. The serious expression in her eyes faded away and was replaced by a meaningful look as she sized up the Blood Moon Elder. I never thought that, you're actually a split self. The Blood Moon Elder froze when he heard Enchanting and replied immediately. Although I am a split self. I've long forgotten that I am a split self already. I think that I should be the original self. Unless you can personally kill him as you said just now. Otherwise, you will always be a split self. Enchanting discouraged the Blood Moon Elder bluntly. Chapter 1137, Possession, 1. If a split self wanted to become the true original self, the only option was to personally destroy the original self. Otherwise, it would remain as a split self forever. Humph. There'll be one day where I take revenge for today and kill him. The Blood Moon Elder scoffed as his eyes twinkled continuously. Enchanting's lips twitched slightly after hearing the Blood Moon Elder. The elderly's martial skills were immeasurable, and even in her peak in her previous life, she might not be able to defeat that elderly. Allow me to remind you that your original self is very likely a holy venerate, Enchanting said candidly. Holy venerate. The Blood Moon Elder's expression changed instantly, but it only lasted for a moment as he returned to his previous fierce expression. Humph. So what if he is a holy venerate? As long as I can kill him personally, all of his will be mine, and I will become a holy venerate as well. Then, the Blood Moon Elder suddenly changed the direction of his discourse and said, however, thinking about it carefully, I exist because of him. Forget it. I will be compassionate and spare his life. Enchanting stared blankly at the Blood Moon Elder. When has this Blood Moon Elder ever been compassionate? Now that he had changed his stance, it was probably because he learned of that elderly's holy venerate cultivation base, and was frightened. Enchanting was already used to the Blood Moon Elder's flexibility according to the situation and merely cast him a look plainly without saying anything. She directly led the Blood Moon Elder to the demonic creature's side and pushed him towards it. Don't say any more bullshit. Quickly possess it. This opportunity was rare. Han Sangming and Blood Moon Holy Lord seemed to have a feud, and no one knew where they had battled to. Blood Moon Elder looked at the demonic creature on the ground with a complicated expression. However, he abandoned his last principle and immediately moved forward to use his mental energy to invade the demonic creature's body. Who cares if it was human or not? If he still did not work hard to become more powerful, he would be killed by that old original self. However big the world was, his life was the most important thing. Blood Moon Elder had thought it through, but after a long while later, he panted heavily and was sweating profusely. He looked at Enchanting dejectedly and said, Holy Lady. I can't do it. This demonic creature's mental energy is too strong. Given my current level, it's simply impossible to break through his mental defense. What the hell is this? He had already given up his rights to become human, but there was still such an obstacle. Enchanting nodded. This was reasonable. It was easy for a high-level powerful figure to possess a low-level cultivator, but if a low-level cultivator wanted to possess the body of a high-level figure, it was almost impossible. Suddenly, Enchanting raised her right arm, and a pitch-black flame floated in her palm. Before Blood Moon Elder's eyes, Enchanting waved her hand gently and threw that destructive flame onto the demonic creature. At the same time, the demonic creature shrieked in pain as though it was a cry from the depth of his soul. The demonic creature was heavily injured and had lost all combat ability, thus, it had no way of blocking Enchanting's black flame. Enchanting immediately looked at Blood Moon Elder and said, Continue. All right. Blood Moon Elder nodded and then used the power of his spirit to invade into the demonic creature's body. Chapter 1138, Possession, 2, It's a pity. It's still short by a little. But compared to before, this demonic creature's mental defense is much weaker, the Blood Moon Elder said. Upon hearing that, Enchanting continued to increase the amount and density of the black flame, causing the demonic creature to lose control of his mind. 15 minutes later, the Blood Moon Elder fell onto the ground with a pale complexion. It's so painful. The demonic creature slowly stood up from the ground and let out a deafening roar that resembled explosive thunder in the sky. Witnessing this, Enchanting slowly retracted all her black flames as the Blood Moon Elder had clearly succeeded in the possession. I can't anymore. It's so painful, the Blood Moon Elder howled continuously. Enchanting was calm to the wailing Blood Moon Elder and shrugged slightly. The demonic creature was already severely injured prior to this and was burned by Enchanting's black flame when it was defenseless. Now that the Blood Moon Elder succeeded in possessing it, he was fully bonded with the demonic creature's body. It would be weird if he did not feel pain. Eat this. Enchanting took out a bottle of healing elixir from her space ring and tossed it to Blood Moon Elder. After getting hold of it, the Blood Moon Elder poured all of its contents down his throat. However, this healing elixir did not seem to be effective on his new body and could only relieve a slight amount of the excruciating pain all over his body. Enchanting's healing elixir was merely targeted towards yin-yang perfected lord figures, while this demonic creature's skills were way beyond the yin-yang perfected lord realm. Thus, this elixir did not have any special use for the Blood Moon Elder. The Blood Moon Elder sat on the ground cross-legged and used his own powers to heal himself. It had to be said that not only did this demonic creature's body possess perfect defense, but its healing powers were extremely shocking as well. In less than an hour, it had already healed 30 to 40%. Puff, puff, the Blood Moon Elder panted heavily. Holy lady, this demonic creature's body is really insanely powerful. It's good that you like it. Enchanting looked at the Blood Moon Elder and chuckled. Blood Moon Elder immediately checked himself out and eventually wore a helpless expression. Apart from powerful skills, he was nothing at all. Oh right. Holy lady, I think that I can hide in the Yu Ancient clan, Blood Moon Elder suddenly whispered to Enchanting. After hearing that, Enchanting frowned slightly. Although this was a good idea, it was too risky. If Yu Ancient clan grew suspicious, the Blood Moon Elder would be in an extremely dangerous situation. It's too risky, Enchanting said after contemplation. Holy lady, this mainland is about to be wiped out, and I view myself as a part of this mainland. If the Yu Ancient clan had their way, all living beings on this mainland would die. It is extremely dangerous no matter where we are. Instead, it is better to initiate a strike. If I conceal myself in the Yu Ancient clan, at least we can obtain information on the Yu Ancient clan and their next step. It is easier to fight them this way. The Blood Moon Elder said rather agitatedly. Looking at the Blood Moon Elder's persistence, Enchanting, however, felt like laughing. Tracing back to when they first met, who would have thought that there would be a day where the once brutal Blood Moon Elder would actually sacrifice himself for the common people? Chapter 1139, Shell 1. Ultimately, Enchanting gave in and allowed the Blood Moon Elder to do as he wanted. At the same time, dozens of miles away, two immensely good-looking men stood in the air silently. A blood-colored long robe swayed in the wind as a pair of cold eyes landed on Han Xiaoming. Han Xiaoming, you could have stayed out of this, the Blood Moon Holy Lord said without emotions after a while. Han Xiaoming was silent. I'm very curious. Are you really the demon god, Han Xiaoming? A long time later, Blood Moon Holy Lord asked once again, though he looked at Han Xiaoming with suspicion and confusion. Han Xiaoming was known as the demon god, but everyone knew that he was not a demon. It was just that his intellect was demon-like, thus, people named him as the demon god. Although Han Kangming's martial skills were emperor level, it was slightly inferior when compared to other emperor level figures. What people were afraid of in Han Xiaoming was not his cultivation base but his intellect. Compared to his intelligence, his emperor level skills were nothing at all. However, the current Han Xiaoming was not the one in the Blood Moon Holy Lord's memory. The Han Xiaoming before seemed to be a completely different person. Han Xiaoming. Enchanting's death is also greatly beneficial to you, the Blood Moon Holy Lord said coldly when he saw that Han Xiaoming had yet to respond. No. Han Xiaoming narrowed his eyes and ultimately spoke. My heart is in her body. Heart, Blood Moon Holy Lord's eyes flickered. So you believe that the heart in Enchanting's body is yours? Han Xiaoming did not reply, but his silence seemed to verify the Blood Moon Holy Lord's question. As a demon god who has a demon intellect, since when did you become an idiot? The Blood Moon Holy Lord looked at the silent Han Xiaoming, and his suspicions intensified. You don't have any ability to think independently. Are you really Han Xiaoming? Han Kangming's brows furrowed slightly. Swoosh. All of a sudden, without any warning at all, the Blood Moon Holy Lord formed a strange print with his palm. A blood-colored bolt of lightning appeared in the sky and struck down at Han Sangming. Han Sangming reacted swiftly and immediately descended to the ground, avoiding the Blood Moon Holy Lord's fatal blow. However, when Han Sangming landed on the ground, two blood-colored metal chains shot out from the ground and trapped Han Sangming tightly. As expected, the Blood Moon Holy Lord landed on the ground with his hands behind him a while later. I formed two remarkable skills just now. The first was a seal that activated from the ground, while the second was a small heavenly tribulation that activated from the sky. You only saw the small heavenly tribulation but was unable to think of the sealed boundary on the ground. The Blood Moon Holy Lord looked at Han Sangming and said. Han Sangming was emotionless and did not understand what the Blood Moon Holy Lord was saying. So, you're only a shell that acts instinctively, without any thinking ability at all. Blood Moon Holy Lord's eyes glistened. What a joke. I fought with a shell for so long. Only an emperor-level figure could slip away by withdrawing his soul to be reborn and leave his shell behind to trick the world. The so-called shell only had the emperor-level figure's instinctive thinking and did not possess any consciousness or emotions, including independent thinking. It was merely a power storehouse. Ha! An icy smile appeared on Blood Moon Holy Lord's face. Withdrawing your soul and leaving your body behind. Han Sangming, this lives up to your name as the demon god. However, just as Blood Moon Holy Lord spoke, the sealed Han Sangming suddenly flashed a wicked smile. The pair of distant eyes were now coated by a devilish charm, and even his cold face was more devilish now. It was as if Han Kangming's demeanor changed completely in an instant. Han Kangming's eyes slowly landed on Blood Moon Holy Lord as he laughed lightly. Heavenly brother, it's not too nice to bully my shell like this, isn't it? You're here. Blood Moon Holy Lord sized up Han Sangming once again when he heard that familiar tone. After knowing what happened to you back then, I've already predicted that I would be next. Thus, I withdrew my soul to be reincarnated. This body is only left behind to trick the heavenly Tao. There's no need to be surprised, Han Sangming said with a laugh. Since that's the case, why did you instruct your shell to hinder me? The Blood Moon Holy Lord asked coldly. Heavenly brother. You should know that the heart of the heavenly Tao has not been nurtured successfully and will be reincarnated endlessly. What can you do even if you kill Yi Qingtang today? After Yi Qingtang dies, she will be reincarnated once again, and she would still become a new holder until the heart of the heavenly Tao is nurtured successfully. Otherwise, there is no end. Han Sangming answered. If that's the case, you'll kill her every time she is reincarnated, said the Blood Moon Holy Lord. But Yi Qingtang is innocent, Han Sangming said with a smile. Innocent? Blood Moon Holy Lord's eyes turned cold. The heart of the heavenly Tao is in her body, and she is a holder. If I kill her, the owner of the heart of the heavenly Tao will have wasted his efforts and can only let her be reincarnated again to become a new holder. This is my revenge on the heavenly Tao. Furthermore, she will live a desolate life even if she lives. Why not die and not have to suffer? Ha ha ha. Han Sangming laughed suddenly, but his eyes turned extremely cold at that instant. Heavenly brother, I think that you're too full of yourself. You hate the owner of the heart of the heavenly Tao, but why must you put all the blame on Miss Yi? You said that her being alive is suffering itself, but I feel that she is living very well. You think that this is being good to her, but have you ever asked about her opinion? Furthermore, you and Miss Yi don't seem to be related. The Blood Moon Holy Lord was silent. The woman he loved the most had already died a long time ago, and even if Yi Qingtang was the reincarnation of his most beloved woman, their souls were completely different. they were two independent individuals. The reincarnation of a dead person was totally different from the person before death. This was the law of the world. As an emperor-level figure, the Heavenly Emperor naturally understood this logic. Heavenly brother. You treated that lady as your wife, but has she ever loved you? The only thing she cared about was martial power. She was even unwilling to give up on the heart of the Heavenly Tao and believed that the heart of the Heavenly Tao would bring her immense power. So be it if that kind of person dies. She is not worthy of such treatment from you, Han Xiaoming said. The Blood Moon Holy Lord was silent. As Han Xiaoming had said, although they were married by name, they were unlike husband and wife. It was such that even the woman he loved dearly had never loved him. So what? Two blood-colored light beams suddenly shot out of the Blood Moon Holy Lord's eyes. Chapter 1141, Shell 3. In a flash, Han Kangming's body was penetrated by the blood-colored light beams. Han Xiaoming, don't let me find your original self. Or else, you'll be killed, Blood Moon Holy Lord said. You don't know how to appreciate favors. Han Xiaoming broke free from the metal chains and fought the Blood Moon Holy Lord. The deafening battle caused the ground to shake and mountains to collapse. Thud. Boom. As a blood-colored shadow collided into a white body, a powerful wind was raked up in the sky. In the next second, both Blood Moon Holy Lord and Han Xiaoming crashed down and made an extremely deep dent on the ground. Cough! Blood Moon Holy Lord had blood on the side of his lips as he slowly stood up from the dent. Han Xiaoming was also severely injured. Their skills could not be used to the best on this mainland and were highly restricted. Has the power of karma also reached its maximum? Han Xiaoming mumbled. A while later, Ling Yan's soul disappeared from this body. Han Xiaoming resumed his past aloofness. Seeing that he was heavily injured, he frowned and immediately bolted away in the horizon without a trace. On a certain mountain peak in central mainland, Ling Yan slowly opened his cold eyes. That's too risky, Ling Yan. The little azure dragon looked at Ling Yan and said. It's fine, Ling Yan said. It's fine. The little azure dragon scoffed coldly. You used the power of karma to enter your body. Heavenly Emperor must have sensed it now. Alright, of course you aren't afraid of Heavenly Emperor, but what about the Heavenly Tao? Are you not afraid that the Heavenly Tao will sense it? Heavenly Tao, Ling Yan looked up at the sky, and his lips curled into an icy smile. I'm afraid the Heavenly Tao has already become a demon Tao now. Whether I'm afraid or not, it is something I'll have to face eventually. Ah, the little azure dragon sighed. I hope that the Heavenly Tao does not sense it. Otherwise, all your efforts will be wasted. Oh right, what happened to Heavenly Emperor? Have you defeated him? The little azure dragon looked at Ling Yan and asked. Ling Yan chuckled. My body is wounded, but he is nowhere better either. He probably will not attack Miss Yi for the time being. What about your body? The little azure dragon asked curiously. It probably ran away, Ling Yan said and laughed. Ran away. The little azure dragon was surprised. If it's me, I would instinctively escape first and find a place to recuperate if I see that I am injured. His instincts are mine too, thus, it should have fled. Ling Yan explained. In Wind Cloud City. As Enchanting looked the Blood Moon Elder's huge, hideous, and horrifying body, she wanted to stay away from him for some reason. Holy Lady, can you give me some respect? Blood Moon Elder put on a long face. I know that I am a little ugly right now, but you can act a little at the very least. Enchanting stared at him blankly. Was this a little ugly? This was simply too hideous to see. Is it really that scary? Blood Moon Elder piled smiles on his face and looked at Enchanting. It's better for you to not smile. Enchanting shifted her gaze away instinctively as her eyes hurt. She really wanted to take a mirror and let the Blood Moon Elder see how unbearable of a sight his smiling face was. The Blood Moon Sect Elder stared at her. Aren't the two of you too dizzy with success? All of a sudden, the little white tiger poked its head out from Enchanting's arms and said, "Don't forget that the 10 cities are connected. With the fall of Wind Cloud City and Sky Star City, the Ancient clan will definitely be alarmed." Enchanting's brows furrowed suddenly when she heard the little white tiger. Enchanting was surprised by the appearance of Blood Moon Holy Lord and Han Xiaoming, and she had forgotten about this issue. Enchanting took a look at the Blood Moon Elder and then turned around and walked out of the city. However, before she could walk far, a cold voice suddenly filled the entire Wind Cloud City. Enchanting looked in the sky almost instinctively. A middle-aged man in a long golden robe was standing in the air silently, exuding a frightening martial aura. As Enchanting looked up, the golden-robed man also looked down at Enchanting at the same time. "It seems that it's you who annihilated my 2 teams." The golden-robed man looked at Enchanting and said without emotions. "This is bad." Enchanting frowned deeply as an inauspicious feeling surged within her. This person's cultivation base was unfathomable. Even though this mainland could suppress a cultivator's cultivation base, the energy inside one's body was not suppressed. For Enchanting, her body was filled with primordial qi, but the gold-robed man in the air had already advanced from primordial qi to the force of a heavenly venerate. To advance from primordial qi to the force of a heavenly venerate, one's martial realm had to at least be in the heavenly venerate realm. Even if Enchanting had a similar martial realm as the gold-robed man, Enchanting was using primordial qi while the gold-robed man was using the force of a heavenly venerate. These two energies were on entirely different levels. A world of differences. Enchanting naturally knew that she did not have the slightest chance of victory when opposing the golden-robed man, who possessed the force of a heavenly venerate. At this instant, Blood Moon Elder's fists were clenched tightly as a somber expression filled his eyes. "Elder Enfo, I told you to guard Wind Cloud City and look after Sky Star City back then, but is this your reply to me?" Suddenly, the golden-robed man looked at Blood Moon Elder and said coldly. Blood Moon Elder was slightly taken aback by the gold-robed man's words. It was then when he suddenly remembered that his current identity was Elder Enfo of the Ancient clan. "General, have mercy." The Blood Moon Elder's eyes brightened. His huge body suddenly kneeled down with a fearful expression. "General, it's this lady. She lured me away from the base." The Blood Moon Elder knew that there were a few generals and one commander who came from the Ancient clan this time. Logically speaking, the captain would not appear easily, thus, this golden-robed man before him should be a general. "Are you sure you want to find an excuse?" the golden-robed man asked. Blood Moon Elder secretly sighed in relief. It seemed that he had guessed correctly, this gold-robed man was indeed a general. "General, I am to blame. Please give me a chance. I will chop this lady into pieces. I will kill her." The Blood Moon Elder shouted sternly. "What are you still waiting for then?" the golden-robed man said expressionlessly. "Thank you for giving me a chance to amend my mistakes." The Blood Moon Elder stood up slowly before turning around to shoot a furious glare at Enchanting and secretly gave her a wink. "This lowly ant. I will kill you." The Blood Moon Elder hollered in rage. "Can you do it?" Enchanting noticed Blood Moon Elder's discreet action but did not give anything away from her expression. "You have a death wish." Then, the Blood Moon Elder threw a punch towards Enchanting. Enchanting's expression changed slightly after sensing the might from Blood Moon Elder's fist. This Blood Moon Elder was actually for real. Swoosh! Enchanting naturally did not dare to fight head-on and leaped away instantly, avoiding Blood Moon Elder's powerful punch that was sufficient to cause an earthquake. "Bitch, do you only know how to escape?" the Blood Moon Elder shouted coldly when he failed to get her with the first strike. Enchanting unsheathed her sword and immediately slashed down at the Blood Moon Elder. Nevertheless, the scarlet sword gleam only left a tiny scratch on the Blood Moon Elder's body. "Am I actually so powerful? Too powerful. My unparalleled defense." The Blood Moon Elder was shocked to see the tiny scratch on his body. However, this was not the time for him to marvel at his might. He looked at Enchanting and feigned viciousness. "Lowly ant from this low-level mainland. You've angered me." Then, the Blood Moon Elder stamped a foot down at Enchanting. Noticing the situation, Enchanting dashed ahead swiftly. The Blood Moon Elder immediately chased after her. At this instant, Blood Moon Elder's colossal frame rampaged through Wind Cloud City, and many buildings in the city collapsed from the collision as though it was a natural disaster. Without turning back, Enchanting had fled out of Wind Cloud City in no time. "Do you only know how to run?" The Blood Moon Elder pursued her with all his might and shouted thunderously. Just like that, the two people gradually got far away from the city. Until sometime later, near a spring at a mountain valley, the Blood Moon Elder shouted, "Holy Lady, stop running." Hearing that, Enchanting turned around to see that the Blood Moon Elder was standing beside a spring and had stopped the chase. It seems that the ancient clan's general did not chase over. The Blood Moon Elder looked behind, and there was no sight of the golden-robed man. With the two people singing the same tune and with one running and one chasing, they managed to bluff the golden-robed man. Enchanting also sighed in relief at the situation. The ancient clan general's martial skills were too domineering, and given Enchanting's combat powers at the moment, she was not his opponent at all. What to do? Worry was etched across Blood Moon Elder's face. The ancient clan is too powerful in general. It is simply impossible to stop them with just a few of us. To oppose the ancient clan's main force, this mainland required powerful figures who were around at least Yang perfected Lord Sixth Heaven and even the Yang Lord Realm. Even a Yang Lord did not have much chance at winning against a general of the ancient clan, and this was ignoring the fact that there was still another mysterious commander above the generals. Enchanting was the only Yang Lord in Falling Sky Valley. If those Yang Lords from Peerless School, Phantom Valley, and Biming Manor joined forces, there was a possibility that they could contend against the ancient clan's main force. But despite so, they could only fight against the main force, and there was still no way to deal with the three generals and commander. Return to Falling Sky Valley first. Enchanting looked at Blood Moon Elder and said. Blood Moon Elder nodded. They could only return to Falling Sky Valley for now. It was already considered impressive for them to be able to take down two cities by chance on this trip. However, before they could take any action, Blood Moon Elder's expression changed abruptly, and he glared at Enchanting furiously. This ant from a low-level mainland. Let me see where else can you flee to. Chapter 1144, Giving One's All in Acting, 3. After Blood Moon Elder finished his sentence, he threw a heavy punch at Enchanting. Enchanting frowned slightly. Shifting her gaze a little, she saw that the golden-robed man was already floating above them and observing them. This fellow actually came over. Enchanting lamented deep down, but she knew that the show that she and Blood Moon Elder put up would not end soon. Boom! A deafening sound echoed in the mountain valley. Blood Moon Elder's fist missed the target and caused a huge dent in the ground. Humph! Suddenly, a loud scoff could be heard from above. General! Blood Moon Elder immediately kneeled with one knee on the ground and looked up into the sky. Elder Enfo, Are you unable to defeat a young lord from this low-level mainland? The golden-robed man stared at Blood Moon Elder and questioned coldly. General, this lad's skills are exceptional. Please give me some more time. I will definitely be able to capture her alive, Blood Moon Elder said with cupped fists. Capture her alive. The gold-robed man said coldly, what would I want you to capture her alive for? Then please wait a moment, General. I will definitely present her head to you. Blood Moon Elder said hurriedly. Good for nothing. The golden-robed man waved his hand. You can't even settle such a small matter properly. Get lost. I will do it myself. Noted, Blood Moon Elder retreated backward immediately and made a path for the golden-robed man. Almost instantly, the gold-robed man landed on the ground slowly, and his cold eyes sized up Enchanting. Oh. I never expected that you are already an yin-yang perfected Lord 8th Heaven at such a young age in this low-level mainland. It's indeed considered a miracle. So. Enchanting said coldly. Ha. The gold-robed man chuckled. I cherish talents. You are pretty gifted in martial cultivation. If you are willing to join and serve the Yu Ancient clan for life, I can consider giving you a way out and spare your life. What do you think? Enchanting sneered in her heart after hearing what the golden-robed man said. While what he said sounded nice, putting it plainly, he was merely telling her to become a slave of the Yu Ancient clan. However, Enchanting had never thought of turning her back against this mainland that she grew up in and joining the so-called Yu Ancient clan just to keep her own life. What happens if I refuse? A cold glint flashed across her eyes as Enchanting looked at the gold-robed man. Refuse? Enchanting's reply caught the gold-robed man by surprise. In the past, their ancient Yu clan annexed low-level mainlands, and the powerful talents from these mainlands fought to become a slave for the ancient Yu clan to protect their lives. Yet, this lady from a low-level mainland actually wanted to refuse this offer. Ha! Of course, the ancient Yu clan will not force you for such matters. However, if you're unwilling to join, then you are an enemy, and since you're an enemy, the only route is to die. Afterward, an overpowering force appeared and enveloped Enchanting in it. Enchanting pondered after feeling the golden-robed man's aura. His martial skills were at least in the heavenly venerate realm, and he possessed the power of a heavenly venerate. Furthermore, even though coming to this mainland would reduce his cultivation realm, he was still at the peak of yin-yang perfected Lord 8th Heaven while she was merely an ordinary yin-yang perfected Lord 8th Heaven. Chapter 1145, Giving One's All in Acting. For, regardless of martial realm or the source of energy in the body, Enchanting was inferior to this golden-robed man. If they fought, the chance of her winning would be less than 20% even if she used all her cards. If they did what Ling Yen said and left Wind Cloud City earlier from the start, she and Blood Moon Holy Lord would not meet this golden-robed man. However, the Blood Moon Holy Lord's appearance completely disrupted Enchanting's momentum, and she could not retreat early as per Ling Yan's plan. If I join forces with Blood Moon Elder, the chance of winning is only about 30%, Enchanting estimated in her heart. A 30% chance of winning was still too dangerous, and even if she could really win, injuries were unavoidable. However, Enchanting was at least 40% confident that she could escape. Since Blood Moon Elder wanted to enter the ancient Yu clan's headquarters, there was no need to bother with him, and the success rate of fleeing alone would be much higher. It seems that you ants from this low-level mainland have a backbone. However, the price of having a backbone is to pay it with your life. As the golden-robed man spoke, he swung a palm out. The power of a heavenly venerate rampaged through the place and slashed toward Enchanting forcefully. However, at this instant, the Blood Moon Elder who was standing behind the golden-robed man acted, and his eyes twinkled dangerously. Swoosh! The moment when the gold-robed man launched his attack, the Blood Moon Elder suddenly smashed his fist at him. Sensing the frightening force that was coming in his way, the golden-robed man was slightly startled, and he looked behind instinctively. However, what entered his eyes was a metal fist that was comparable to a small mountain peak. The golden-robed man did not have any defense against the Blood Moon Elder. Caught off guard, he got hit by the Blood Moon Elder's punch that was thrown with all his might. A deafening sound erupted, and the golden-robed man was subsequently buried under the Blood Moon Elder's fist. Boom, boom, boom. As Blood Moon Elder's punch landed, the ground shattered, and the numerous cracks on the ground extended out like little snakes. Ha ha ha, idiots of Ancient U clan. This person is a general with such a brain. Looks like I can be the clan master of your Ancient U clan. The Blood Moon Elder guffawed when he succeeded with one strike. This new body was truly beyond Blood Moon Elder's imagination. Apart from perfect defense, it also had an exceptional perfect strength. Enchanting was surprised by Blood Moon Elder's sudden rebellion. Although she knew that the Blood Moon Elder would definitely wait for an opportunity to attack, his timing was rather unexpected. What Enchanting was more surprised was that this golden-robed man was completely unsuspecting of Elder Enfo. Otherwise, if he had any guard up against Blood Moon Elder, given his skills, Blood Moon Elder would definitely not be able to succeed with one strike. However, it was almost too unrealistic to kill that golden-robed man with just one punch from Blood Moon Elder. Elder Enfo. Suddenly, a bone-curdling cold voice that had a trace of anger sounded from the ground. Boom! Before their naked eyes, the ground exploded, and the golden-robed man emerged from underground. His golden Chinese robe was stained with dust, and there was a glaring trace of blood on the corner of his lips, making him appear rather miserable. Chapter 1146, You Are Thinking Too Much. 1. Even this can't kill you. The Blood Moon Elder looked in disbelief at the golden-robed man with a perplexed expression. The Blood Moon Elder currently had full confidence in the powers of his new body. Although his recent punch was not earth-shattering, it should have no problem crushing a few powerful cultivators. Further, the golden-robed man was caught off guard and received the full force of the blow. However, who would have thought that this golden-robed man could still survive after receiving the full force of this blow? Elder Enfo, you dare to betray the U clan. The golden-robed man said sternly to Blood Moon Elder with eyes completely devoid of expression. When he heard the golden-robed man's words, Blood Moon Elder's expression immediately changed. He waved his hand repeatedly. Lord General, you are mistaken. What happened just now was a misunderstanding. My blow was meant to crush that girl into dust. Who knew that Lord General would rush over so swiftly, and block my fist? When he heard Blood Moon Elder's nonsense, a cold light glittered in the golden-robed man's eyes. Are you taking me for a fool? No, no, Lord General. Even if I had the nerve, I would not dare to offend you. I would certainly not dare to betray the Ancient U clan. If you don't believe me, I can demonstrate again. With that, Blood Moon Elder threw another punch without giving the golden-robed man any chance to react. The golden-robed man would never have imagined that this Elder Enfo would actually throw another punch at him and was caught completely off guard. He was sent flying by the oncoming fist. The Blood Moon Elder's punch was extremely fast and instantly sent the golden-robed man flying. A few hundred meters away, a mountain peak collapsed under the impact of the golden-robed man's body. This time, even Enchanting, who was standing nearby, was completely bewildered, not to speak of the golden-robed man, who had been ambushed twice in rapid succession. Ha 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 ha, I've always said that with your brains, why are you the general? Brat, veterans always have the advantage. You are just too inexperienced. Ha ha. The Blood Moon Elder burst out laughing. When she saw the Blood Moon Elder's smug look, Enchanting really wanted to go up and slap him. Considering the terrifying strength that Blood Moon Elder's current body possessed, the golden-robed man was completely within his control. He could curb the golden-robed man's movements, and together with Enchanting's destructive black flame, the two of them working in tandem could certainly kill the golden-robed man on the spot. However, the Blood Moon Elder had missed two wonderful opportunities. Such great opportunities to kill the golden-robed old man, but the Blood Moon Elder had only given him 2 punches. Ha 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 ha. Having succeeded twice, the Blood Moon Elder laughed loudly and turned to Enchanting, his face filled with pride. In a smug tone, he loudly said, "Holy Lady, I think we have overestimated the general of the ancient Yu clan." When she heard the Blood Moon Elder's words, Enchanting could not help but rub her forehead. She wanted to say something but was interrupted by Blood Moon Elder. "Holy Lady, we don't need to flee. If we work together, we can kill this general." "No, in fact, we don't need to work together. I myself can kill him." When Enchanting looked at the smug Blood Moon Elder, she could not summon up even half a smile. The situation was not as simple as the Blood Moon Elder had assumed. If the Blood Moon Elder's new body was also in the Heavenly Venerate realm, then perhaps he could really do as he said. If his body possessed the same power as a Heavenly Venerate, he could just use the brute strength of his powerful body and bludgeon the golden-robed man to death. Unfortunately, Enchanting had yet to detect the Heavenly Venerate's power in the Blood Moon Elder's body. They could only depend on this Bodhi's brute strength to crush the golden-robed man to death if they captured him. But Blood Moon Elder had already missed the opportunity to capture the golden-robed man. As long as the golden-robed man was not an idiot, he would certainly not give Blood Moon Elder another chance. Thud! The mountain peak ahead suddenly exploded, and an afterimage of golden light flashed across the void. The golden-robed old man was floating in mid-air, looking at Blood Moon Elder sinisterly. "Elder Enfo, you have indeed betrayed the Yu clan. Do you know what happens to those who betray the Yu clan?" The golden-robed man glared at Blood Moon Elder and said coldly. "Ha ha ha." When he heard the golden-robed old man's words, Blood Moon Elder laughed coldly. He said arrogantly, "Since when have I betrayed the Yu clan? It's just that I can't stand the sight of you. I feel that I am much more powerful than you. You should give your position as general of the ancient Yu clan to me instead. How about this, I'll kill you today and take your place as general of the ancient Yu clan. What do you think?" When he heard Blood Moon Elder's words, the golden-robed man's expression became rather puzzled. At first, the golden-robed man had felt that it did not make sense for Elder Enfo to suddenly betray him. Logically, it was improbable that Elder Enfo would betray the ancient Yu clan, and he had no reason to become a traitor. But, the golden-robed man felt it was more likely that Elder Enfo was merely ambitious and wanted to become the general because he disliked him. "So you are competing with me for the generalship?" The golden-robed man laughed coldly. "Why, am I not powerful enough to take your place as general? I think there should be no problem. Are your fists as big as mine?" Blood Moon Elder waved his right arm, and an iron-hard fist, as big as a small mountain, waved in front of the golden-robed man. Swoosh! Without any warning, the Blood Moon Elder suddenly grabbed at the golden-robed man. However, the golden-robed man was prepared. His body flickered, and he immediately dodged. The golden-robed man was aware of the terrifying strength that Elder Enfo's body possessed. Even he would suffer disastrous consequences if Elder Enfo caught him in his hands. "Elder Enfo, you have a death wish." The golden-robed man dodged Blood Moon Elder's blow and stood proudly in the void. "Ha ha ha ha, little one, we are in different realms. Also, my body is much more powerful than yours. On what basis do you oppose me?" The Blood Moon Elder laughed loudly and uncontrollably. When he heard the Blood Moon Elder's words, the golden-robed man said blandly, "In this mainland, all realms are the same. However, the ultimate source of strength in one's body can be of different qualities." As the golden-robed man finished speaking, a wild wind started to blow within the void. Ripples started to appear, accompanied by the suffocating power of a heavenly venerate. When he felt the force of a heavenly venerate, the Blood Moon Elder's expression immediately changed. It was as if his body was being crushed by the heavenly mountain that had fallen from the ninth heaven. Boom! The earth under Blood Moon Elder's feet instantly shattered, and his upright body was forced to bend under the oppressive power of a heavenly venerate. At that moment, the Blood Moon Elder looked frightened. The power of his new body was unable to withstand the oppressive force of the golden-robed man's aura. "Do you still want to be general?" The golden-robed man stood in the void. His bland gaze fell on the Blood Moon Elder, and he spoke coldly. However, before the Blood Moon Elder could speak, Enchanting drew her sword. The crimson sword glow seemed to pierce the horizon as it slashed straight at the golden-robed man. Although the golden-robed man was powerful, the strength of his body could not be compared with that of the Blood Moon Elder. When Enchanting's sword struck the Blood Moon Elder's body, it had no effect. But if it struck the golden-robed man's body, even with the protection of his heavenly venerate powers, he would probably be uncomfortable. Swoosh! An ear-splitting noise rang out, and in the next instant, the golden-robed man transformed into a shadow and vanished. Boom! The crimson sword glow struck by Enchanting extended for a distance of 10 meters, and its aftershock completely destroyed a mountain peak. A meaningless struggle. The golden-robed man's figure appeared again. His inky black hair blew in the wind. He looked down on Enchanting like a supreme master. "Kneel!" The golden-robed man's heavenly venerate power rushed forth again and crushed Enchanting. Boom! At that moment, Enchanting was trying to withstand enormous pressure. Her body felt as if it weighed a ton, and it instantly crushed the ground under her feet. At that moment, a black mist shrouded Enchanting's body, and the power of the heavenly demon-devouring bloodline rushed forth. It frantically devoured the golden-robed man's heavenly venerate power. A pity that Enchanting's heavenly demon-devouring bloodline was not of sufficiently high level, or it could instantly and completely devour the golden-robed man's ultimate source of strength and convert it for her own use. Oh, when the golden-robed man saw the black mist that surfaced around Enchanting's body, he could not help but frown. Heavenly demon bloodline. Are you a member of the Jiang family? The power of the heavenly demon bloodline was unique to the family of Central Mainland's domain monarch. Only members of the Jiang family had the heavenly demon bloodline. When he recognized the heavenly demon bloodline in Enchanting's body, the golden-robed man assumed that she was a member of the Jiang family. When she heard that, Enchanting rolled her eyes. It looked as if the golden-robed man of the ancient Yu clan had assumed she was part of the Central Mainland domain monarch's family after seeing that she possessed the heavenly demon's bloodline. Enchanting did not correct his mistake but laughed coldly and said, "Since you know I am part of Central Mainland's domain monarch's family, how dare you act so impetuously?" When he heard that, the golden-robed man said expressionlessly, "The ancient Yu clan has never had anything to do with the Jiang family. It was you who was too impolite. Even the domain monarch himself might not dare to act like that. Since you have violated the terms of peace between the two tribes, I will kill you and send your head to the domain monarch." Before Enchanting could continue speaking, the golden-robed man's expression suddenly changed, and he swiftly hid himself somewhere in the distance. Thud! The place where the golden-robed man was standing suddenly contracted. At the peak of its contraction, it violently exploded. If the golden-robed man had fled a little slower, he would have been crushed by the force of the distorted space. "Who is it?" since you are here, why not show yourself? The golden-robed man spoke coldly with a stern expression. Just as the golden-robed man finished speaking, a white-robed old man suddenly appeared in the void. Space technique. The golden-robed man frowned deeply as he looked at the old man standing casually nearby. Space technique. The golden-robed man frowned deeply as he looked at the old man standing casually nearby. The space technique was one of the most powerful and mysterious forces. Legend had it that when cultivated to the highest level, the space technique allowed one to manipulate space at will. Within the span of a single breath, one could traverse a distance of 10,000 miles. The ultimate elder, Blood Moon Elder, shuddered when he saw the new arrival. This white-haired old man dressed in white robes was certainly the ultimate elder, that old pervert. His power is comparable to that of the Holy Lord. He may even be more powerful than the Holy Lord in some aspects. Blood Moon Elder looked at the ultimate elder in shock. Although the Blood Moon Holy Lord was the spiritual incarnation of the Heavenly Emperor, the power of the Blood Moon Holy Lord could be said to be unrivaled in this mainland. But this ultimate elder had been fighting the Blood Moon Holy Lord for years, from which one could deduce how powerful he was. "Hey, little girl, haven't I seen you somewhere before?" The ultimate elder's gaze suddenly fell on Enchanting. "You haven't just seen me before. Once, you used a force seal and frightened my 1,000-league horse until it stiffened up and couldn't move." The corners of Enchanting's mouth twitched. The ultimate elder was one of the 3 legendary powerful cultivators in this mainland. Besides him, there was the Pagoda Sword Master, who had left this mainland long ago, and the Blood Moon Holy Lord. But this ultimate elder could be said to be devoted to the Blood Moon Holy Lord. For many years, he had hunted him without giving up. "Oh, is that so?" When he heard that, ultimate elder propped his chin on his hands and thought for a while. Then he suddenly slapped his thigh. "That's right, I remember now. I was hunting the Blood Moon Holy Lord at that time." The moment he mentioned the Blood Moon Holy Lord, Enchanting felt her head ache. So it was that younger brother she had picked up along the way that had turned into an invincible slayer. This ultimate elder was certainly very clear about things related to the Blood Moon Holy Lord. When the golden-robed man saw the ultimate elder chatting with Enchanting as if no one else existed, he felt neglected. His expression darkened, and he glared at the ultimate elder and said, "Lord, are you overlooking something?" When the ultimate elder heard that, he turned and studied the golden-robed man. "You are the invader of Central Mainland." Although ultimate elder came and went as he pleased, he had noticed that Central Mainland had been invaded. "You can interpret it that way if you like," said the golden-robed man. "Did you ask my permission before entering this mainland?" asked the ultimate elder. "We of the ancient Yu clan do not have the habit of consulting dead people." The golden-robed man laughed coldly. Before the ultimate elder could continue speaking, the power of a heavenly venerate rushed forth. It swiftly sealed the area and pressed down towards the ultimate elder. When he saw that, a cold light shone in ultimate elder's eyes. He raised his right hand and pointed at the void in front of him. The next second, they could see that the surrounding space rapidly twitched, as if heaven and earth were exchanging places. The golden-robed man's heavenly venerate powers were largely absorbed by the twisted space. "Ah! Ah! I didn't expect this mainland to have a powerful cultivator who understands the space technique. Not bad." The golden-robed man looked at the ultimate elder, and his lips curved upwards. "This is interesting. Otherwise, this excursion to exterminate this mainland would be too boring." "Enough nonsense. Let's fight to the death." Ultimate Elder etched out a symbol with his hand, and the twisted space started to press towards golden-robed man. A strange lotus-shaped demonic flame suddenly surfaced around the golden-robed man and burned the surrounding space. Extraordinary flame. When he saw that, the Ultimate Elder frowned slightly. Before the Ultimate Elder had time to think, the golden-robed man had already escaped the twisted space. He pointed at the Ultimate Elder. When he saw that, the Ultimate Elder grunted coldly and also reached out with his finger. When the two fingers met, an earth-shattering explosion rang out. As she watched the fight between the Ultimate Elder and the golden-robed man, Enchanting swiftly concluded that the Ultimate Elder and golden-robed man were both powerful cultivators at the same level. Like the golden-robed man, the Ultimate Elder possessed the power of a heavenly venerate. Apart from that, he had also cultivated the extremely mysterious space technique. This Ultimate Elder had lived for many years in this mainland. If not for the lack of spirit energy in this mainland, he would have already become a powerful cultivator in the realm of a holy venerate. It was already a miracle that he had forcibly cultivated the power of a holy venerate while in the realm of Yin-Yang perfected Lord. At that moment, Enchanting could see that the Ultimate Elder was not losing to the golden-robed man. As he raised his hands, space ripped and poured out wildly like rain, forcing the golden-robed man to retreat. Not bad. Carry on. A burning luster surfaced in the golden-robed man's eyes. He laughed wildly as his entire person immediately shot skywards. Chaotic fury. At that instant, an extraordinary flame in the shape of a lotus flower surfaced around the golden-robed man. He pointed at the sky and laughed coldly. As the golden-robed man spoke, endless flames rapidly fell from the void above. Devour space. When he saw that, the Ultimate Elder right hand forcefully grabbed at the void. The next second, the space within a radius of 100 meters was torn, and black holes appeared. All the flames were absorbed into them. Space return. The Ultimate Elder's finger dabbed lightly in front of him, and the lotus-shaped extraordinary flame that had been absorbed by the twisted space now rushed towards the golden-robed man. Good, 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 this is interesting. The golden-robed man's lips arched upwards. The lotus-shaped extraordinary flames that had surfaced around him absorbed the extraordinary flames that were heading for him in all directions. You are truly powerful. If you were not limited by the spirit energy in this realm, you would probably be powerful enough to fight me. A pity that you will die here today. The golden-robed man laughed coldly. Swoosh. Before the Ultimate Elder could speak, Enchanting flicked numerous crimson flames towards him. In the void, the crimson flames soon transformed into the color of black ink. You think too highly of yourself. When he saw that, a trace of disdain surfaced in the golden-robed man's eyes. Compared to his lotus-shaped extraordinary flame, the power of all flames were futile. The golden-robed man waved his right arm, and a tongue of lotus-shaped extraordinary flame rushed forth. But to the shock of the golden-robed man, the black flames instantly devoured his lotus-shaped extraordinary flame. Boom, boom. There was a loud crash as the black flames that were filled with the aura of extermination exploded. The golden-robed man was too close and was caught off guard. The aftershock of the black flames' explosion forced him to retreat by dozens of meters. Extraordinary flame. The golden-robed man looked at Enchanting in some surprise. The golden-robed man had assumed that the black flames Enchanting displayed were merely ordinary fire elemental cultivation techniques. He had not imagined that they were actually extraordinary flames. What kind of extraordinary flame is this? The golden-robed man frowned with a rather puzzled expression. In this world, there were a total of 3,000 types of extraordinary flames. Besides the dozen divine extraordinary flames that, according to legends, only the gods possessed, he knew all the other extraordinary flames. But he could not recognize the extraordinary flame that Enchanting displayed. Even Enchanting herself did not know the name of this extraordinary flame, much less the golden-robed man. When Enchanting had understood the ultimate origin skill, this extraordinary flame already existed. Later, when Enchanting inherited the Divine Phoenix's bloodline, the extraordinary flame in her body had perfectly integrated with the Divine Phoenix's bloodline. After that, Enchanting had coincidentally obtained the heavenly demon-devouring bloodline, and then her extraordinary flame had transformed into a deep black color, and its power had become even more aggressive. To be honest, Enchanting's extraordinary flame could not be considered as an orthodox extraordinary flame but was a mutated extraordinary flame. With the ultimate origin skill as its basis, it integrated with the Divine Phoenix's bloodline and the heavenly demon bloodline to form an entirely new type of extraordinary flame. Little girl, this extraordinary flame of yours is really something. The ultimate elder stared at the black flames that had surfaced around Enchanting as he spoke. How many types of extraordinary flames are you familiar with? Enchanting asked. Oh. I know about burning firewood but not too much about extraordinary flames. The ultimate elder thought for a while before replying. This reply rendered Enchanting speechless. She had thought the ultimate elder was an expert and wanted to ask him about the reason behind mutated extraordinary flames. You have a death wish. The golden-robed man suddenly bellowed in rage. His entire person transformed into an afterimage, and he swiftly arrived at Enchanting's side. He raised his right hand and struck at her with a terrifying force. Humph, you aren't showing me any respect. When he saw what was going on, the ultimate elder grunted coldly. He crooked his fingers, and the void next to Enchanting suddenly twisted and swallowed Enchanting up. Boom! With a deafening sound, the golden-robed man's blow missed its mark. Enchanting, who had been right in front of him, suddenly vanished completely. At the same time, the space next to the ultimate elder suddenly started to ripple, and Enchanting's figure appeared. Ha ha ha, little girl, isn't this fun? The ultimate elder laughed and said to Enchanting. Thank you for your help. Enchanting cupped her fists and thanked the ultimate elder. This ultimate elder's space technique was truly extraordinary. Even at Enchanting's peak, she had seldom seen the space technique being displayed. However, the ultimate elder's space technique had been cultivated to a very high level. He could exchange spaces and move them across a distance of 1,000 miles. It was truly unparalleled. Before the ultimate elder could say anything, Enchanting's expression suddenly changed, and she involuntarily looked behind her. Swoosh! Whiz! Many ear-splitting noises could be heard, and a few moments later, more and more afterimages surfaced in the void above. 2 middle-aged men arrived in the nearby void. One of them was wearing a long black robe. He looked aged and wrinkled, and his left eye was blind. The other was wearing a long green robe. He was extraordinarily handsome, with waist-length bright red hair. A heavy sword was tied to his back with a white cloth. General Yu Tong. General Yu Ming, you're too late, said the golden-robed man. When he heard that, the green-robed man, who was called Yu Tong, laughed remotely and said, General Eugene, can't you deal with the ants in this inferior mainland yourself? This is the girl who destroyed Sky Star City and Wind Cloud City, Yu Ming, the other black-robed man, said. His remaining eye fell on Enchanting. Behind the 2 generals were many powerful cultivators from the ancient Yu clan. Most of them were at the level of Young Lord. This old man is quite powerful, and his skills are comparable to mine. Also, Elder Enfo tried to kill me and seize my generalship. I was attacked from all sides just now, the golden-robed man said laughingly. When he heard that, the green-robed man, Yu Tong, looked at the ultimate elder. In an instant, Yu Tong's eyes turned blood-red. His pupils slowly turned as if they contained everything in the universe. With just one look, ultimate elder shuddered. Illusion. When she saw what was happening, Enchanting's expression changed. This green-robed man's eyes belonged to some bloodline and were extremely terrifying. He is under my control. However, this old man has great mental strength. General Eugene, I cannot last for long. Go and kill him, said the green-robed man, Yutong. When he heard that, the golden-robed man's lips curled slightly upwards. The frightening lotus-shaped extraordinary flame surfaced in his hand, and he threw it at the ultimate elder's brow. This is bad. Yi Qingtang immediately used her mutated extraordinary flame. Her entire body was instantly filled with black flames, and she was poised to rescue the ultimate elder. However, before Yi Qingtang could act, they heard a swooshing noise. Thousands of sword glints fell like rain from the void. At that moment, there was a surge of sword breath, and sword silhouettes could be seen everywhere. The entire area seemed to turn into a country of swords. The golden-robed man was blasted by the sword glints and forced back by a few dozen steps. A golden sword glint surfaced in the void. The golden-robed man narrowed his eyes when he saw the golden sword glint. The golden sword glint rapidly transformed into an old man in a cotton robe. Humph! When the old man saw the ultimate elder, he grunted loudly. The ultimate elder immediately opened his eyes. We haven't met for a long time. You're getting weaker. The old man looked at the ultimate elder and said coldly. You. When he saw the old man, the ultimate elder looked rather surprised. Pagoda Sword Master, when she heard that, Yi Qingtang was also taken aback. Legend had it that this old man was the most powerful cultivator in this mainland, but he had left many years ago. Pagoda Sword Master, legend had it that the Pagoda Sword Master had become renowned when he was young. He had defeated all the powerful cultivators in this mainland. The Ultimate Elder and the Blood Moon Holy Lord had cooperated to fight the Pagoda Sword Master, but they had also lost. Of course, the Blood Moon Holy Lord was only the spiritual incarnation of the Heavenly Emperor and not the Heavenly Emperor himself. No matter how powerful the Pagoda Sword Master was, there was probably still a gap between him and an especially strong cultivator like the Heavenly Emperor. Of course, Yi Qingtang did not know how powerful the Pagoda Sword Master currently was. Everyone, please show me some respect and leave this mainland. The Pagoda Sword Master swept a glance at the golden-robed old man and the three generals as he spoke. I'm afraid you don't deserve such respect. The green-robed man, Yu Tong, laughed coldly. We are the ancient Yu clan. We want to exterminate this mainland and take away something that belongs to our clan. But how about this? If you are willing to join the ancient Yu clan, we will let you live, the golden-robed man said. In that case, more words are futile. Let us fight. As the Pagoda Sword Master spoke, two frightening beams of sword breath burst forth from his eyes and swept towards the group from the ancient Yu clan. Chapter 1153, Pagoda Sword Master, 2. At this instant, the Yu ancient clan people attacked immediately and formed several prints with their palms. Subsequently, an almost substantive screen appeared in the air and trapped everyone in it. The sword aura that shot out from Pagoda Sword Master's eyes immediately slashed the screen, and a deafening noise erupted. Humph! Ultimate Elder scoffed loudly, and he leaned forward, twisting the surrounding space. The sword shadow that Pagoda Sword Master slashed out entered the twisted space, and the next time the sword shadow appeared, it was already thrust into the screen by the twisted space. Puff! Several Yu ancient clan disciples had their necks slit by the Pagoda Sword Master's sword shadow and died at the scene. Almost instantly, the three generals of Yu ancient clan leaped toward Ultimate Elder and Pagoda Sword Master, causing an overpowering aura to fill the air. In just the blink of an eye, both sides were locked in a battle. Seeing that the battle was increasing in violence, the Blood Moon Elder quietly walked to Yi Qingtang's side and whispered softly. Holy Lady! Let's run first. They originally thought that they would definitely die, but unexpectedly, Ultimate Elder and even Pagoda Sword Master, who had disappeared from this mainland for a long time, rushed over. Now that Ultimate Elder and Pagoda Sword Master were engaged in a tight battle, it was a good chance for them to flee. However, it was as though Enchanting did not hear Blood Moon Elder's suggestion, and her attention was completely focused on the battlefield. It was not that Enchanting did not wish to take this chance to escape, but she discovered that as the battle intensified, the spirit energy on this mainland expanded immediately, and this mainland was about to burst from the spirit energy that they discharged. Regardless of Ultimate Elder, Pagoda Sword Master, or those powerful figures from Ancient clan, their skills had already exceeded the limit of this mainland, and this excess may not be completely leveled even if their skills were suppressed. In this intense battle, the powerful figures executed their skills brazenly. The dangerous amount of force that exceeded the spirit energy of this mainland was a constant assault to this mainland's tolerance of spirit energy. Uneasiness crept into Enchanting's heart. The martial culture of this mainland had always been low, and there were few powerful figures such as Ultimate Elder, Pagoda Sword Master, and Blood Moon Holy Lord, thus, their appearance would not have much influence on this mainland. However, if the number of such powerful figures suddenly inflated in the same area, and these powerful figures unleashed their powers at the same time, how could this mainland be able to withstand this bout-like assault? By then, this mainland would explode due to the inability to withstand so much force. Enchanting frowned inadvertently at that thought. If it was really as she guessed, everyone on this mainland would die regardless of the Ancient clan's attack. At this instant, more and more Ancient clan figures rushed over from all sides. The Ultimate Elder and the Pagoda Sword Master were facing 3 Ancient clan generals. Although they were not at a disadvantage yet, the arrival of more Ancient clan figures eventually saw the strain of even Pagoda Sword Master, the man known as the most powerful figure of this mainland. Chapter 1154, Pagoda Sword Master, 3, It May Not Be So. The Ultimate Elder suddenly looked up and gazed afar. Almost at the same time when Ultimate Elder looked over, a wave seemed to appear in the air. In just the blink of an eye, numerous black shadows appeared from that wave. Those black shadows transformed into bolts of light and descended from the sky unannounced. The masses from the 3 mighty forces, Phantom Valley, Peerless School, and Beaming Manor, suddenly appeared in everyone's sight. Greetings, Ultimate Elder. 3 tall figures stood out from the 3 mighty forces. The masters of Phantom Valley, Peerless School, and Beaming Manor immediately walked forward and greeted Ultimate Elder with a bow and cupped fists upon seeing him. Emisham. Ultimate Elder waved a hand briefly in response. Ultimate Elder was a legendary powerful figure on this mainland, and even the 3 mighty forces were extremely respectful toward him. Enchanting had a look of understanding when she saw the arrival of the 3 mighty forces. Currently, the invasion of the central mainland powerful figures into this mainland was a pressing crisis, and the Peerless School, Phantom Valley, and Beaming Manor would not sit around and do nothing. The 3 mighty forces must be aware of the current situation and the Ancient clan's intentions. If they did not stop the Ancient clan's massacre, the 3 mighty forces would also ultimately vanish along with everyone on this mainland. They were not fools. No egg was left intact when the nest was doomed. Regardless of their dynamics previously, they could only join forces now. Senior Ultimate Elder. This is, Beaming Manor Chief looked at Pagoda Sword Master and asked curiously. Pagoda Sword Master, replied Ultimate Elder. Pagoda Sword Master. Their expressions changed when they heard this name. The Pagoda Sword Master had left this mainland a long time ago, and barely anyone knew what he looked like. The power holders of the 3 mighty forces had never seen the Pagoda Sword Master before either. Although they had not met the pagoda sword master before, he was extremely esteemed and renowned. Legend has it that the pagoda sword master was the #1 figure of this mainland, and even the Blood Moon Holy Lord back then was defeated by him. They heard that the pagoda sword master had left this mainland a long time ago, yet unexpectedly today, the pagoda sword master actually returned to this mainland when it was facing a crisis. The addition of the 3 mighty forces resulted in 10+ young lords on the pagoda sword master's side. Yet despite this situation, Enchanting was not seen to be relieved at all, and she looked at the frowning Ultimate Elder. As expected, the Ultimate Elder had a somber expression as he looked at the ancient clan masses. Even with additional support, the Ultimate Elder was still distressed. While the 3 mighty forces joined in, the ancient clan was much more powerful than he expected, and it was probably tough to contend against them even if the full force of the 3 mighty forces participated. If the hidden ancient clan of this mainland could join them, perhaps there was a tiny hope in this battle. Aren't you all being delusional for wanting to protect this mainland with just a few of you? The golden-robed elderly of the ancient clan snickered. Chapter 1155, The Spirit Energy Crisis, 1. As the golden-robed man had said, it was basically unrealistic to resist the ancient clan even with 10 more young lords. Swoosh! At this instant, many figures flashed across the sky. Ultimate Elder finally sighed in relief at the sight. Finally here. Several figures loomed from the sky and entered everyone's vision. After the elderly in the lead landed on the ground, he immediately looked at Ultimate Elder and spoke. Ultimate Elder, it's been long. Looking at those people who arrived suddenly, Enchanting realized that there were many young lords who came with the elderly, and the clothes that they were wearing were embroidered with a foreign and aged totem. A guess struck Enchanting almost instinctively. Enchanting seemed to have seen that totem in an ancient book in her previous life before. It was just that the ancient book only had a few fragments left when Enchanting obtained it, and this totem appeared in the remaining excerpts. Although there was no detailed description of the origin of this totem, it vaguely mentioned that this totem seemed to be related to the ancient clan of this mainland. Although this mainland's martial culture was backward, it still had a long history, and there were many hidden ancient clans. Apart from the obscure ancient clan that attacked Falling Sky Valley, there were other ancient clans living in between the mountains and clouds. Similarly, both the ancient Yu clan and the domain monarch's Jiang clan in central mainland were classified as ancient clans. The totem seen on the group of people who came suddenly led Enchanting to guess that they could be an ancient clan that had been concealed from the world for a long time, though she could not be certain. However, looking at how that elderly in the lead and Ultimate Elder were talking, they seemed to know each other. The golden-robed man from Yu ancient clan stared at those ancient clan figures who rushed over fearlessly, and a sneer hung on his lips. You think too highly of yourselves. In reality, given the backward martial culture of this mainland, the obscure ancient clans of this mainland were no match for those of the central mainland even if they showed up. However, to a certain extent, if the obscure ancient clans of this mainland were willing to join the war, they could still resist the ancient Yu clan for a period of time even if they were unable to defeat the ancient Yu clan. After all, this mainland suppression of skills could slightly restrain the ancient Yu clan's skills. Had there not been such suppression, the ancient Yu clan would probably have destroyed this mainland a long time ago. Enchanting was even more somber when she saw the golden-robed man's arrogant attitude. If there were powerful figures at Yin Yang perfected Lord 10th Heaven like Divine King Luo Shui, the calamity of this mainland could be easily prevented. Nonetheless, the Yin Yang perfected Lord 10th Heaven figure from the obscure ancient clan that attacked Falling Sky Valley had been killed by Divine King Luo Shui, and Divine King Luo Shui, himself, was dead too. This mainland most likely had no other figures at Yang Lord 10th Heaven. As the mainland's catastrophe approached, an increasing number of itinerant cultivators rushed over to the battlefield. It was just that this mainland's spirit energy was too thin, and only a handful number of itinerant cultivators were powerful figures, as almost all the true powerful figures were in ancient clans. For example, one of the powerful figures from the ancient clan killed by divine King Luo Shui was in the Yang Lord 10th Heaven realm, and he was considered an ancient figure. Apart from him, almost no one from the remaining obscure ancient clans lived over 10,000 years. These obscure ancient clans and divine King Luo Shui did not live in the same generation. While they were obscure ancient clans, they were the descendants of those ancient figures from 10,000 years ago. In terms of skills, it was impossible for them to be compared to that Yang Lord 10th Heaven person whom divine King Luo Shui killed. Endless explosions could be heard at this instant. The Pagoda Sword Master's side and the Yu ancient clan's side were locked in a battle. Immensely horrifying martial auras crashed into one another, and remarkable skills were executed. One could hardly distinguish the situation with the naked eye. Holy Lady, are we going to join the battle? The Blood Moon Elder was standing beside Enchanting currently. The two of them had long been ignored as though they did not exist. Ardor and zeal coursed through the Blood Moon Elder's blood as he watched the great match. His eyes were burning while his unrivaled body could not hold back any longer, and he wanted to show off his skills. By then, he would definitely become the center of attention. Enchanting frowned deeply and shook her head. We are not joining the battle. The Blood Moon Elder was slightly surprised and did not know Enchanting's intention. The Pagoda Sword Master and Ultimate Elder's side fell behind in terms of numbers and skills when fighting against the ancient Yu clan. Once Enchanting and he, two top Yang Lords, participated, there would be an evident improvement in the situation. However, Enchanting did not say anything and inspected the sky instead. The spirit energy of this mainland was expanded increasingly as the battle intensified. If it expanded to the limit, there would only be one possibility: this mainland would no longer be able to bear this pressure. The pressure of the spirit energy from the outer world would completely crush this mainland. By then, everyone did not need to continue fighting as everyone would die. Look at the spirit energy of this mainland. Enchanting told the Blood Moon Elder. Spirit energy. Confusion was etched the Blood Moon Elder's face as he did not know what Enchanting meant. He looked up instinctively. His expression changed drastically a moment later, and horror filled his wide eyes. This. The Blood Moon Elder trembled slightly. The spirit energy of this mainland is compressed rapidly and inflating outward, that's right. Enchanting nodded her head. If this goes on, this mainland will definitely be unable to bear the pressure of the spirit energy, and explode. The Blood Moon Elder was astonished. Once this mainland could not bear the pressure of the spirit energy and exploded, no one dreamed shall of leaving this place alive. The people of this mainland and the ancient Yu clan members would all die here. Blood Moon Elder naturally knew the reason behind the compression and expansion of the spirit energy. The spirit energy in this mainland was thin from the start, and this mainland was classified as a low-level mainland. Normally speaking, it could only withstand the aura of an ordinary Yang Lord. However, with ancient Yu clan, Pagoda Sword Master, and those powerful ancient clans gathered at one place currently, all their forces, including the Pagoda Sword Master's Sword Dao willpower, had greatly surpassed the power that a yin-yang perfected Lord Realm could control, and even more so, the limit that this mainland could withstand. Now that all the excess force that this mainland could withstand exploded in one area, this was simply suicidal. Chapter 1157, The Spirit Energy Crisis, 3. Just the thought of this gave the Blood Moon Elder goosebumps all over. He hollered immediately. Stop fighting, everyone. The voice of Blood Moon Elder's new body was shocking, and his shout was like a thunderous roar that pierced everyone's eardrums. As expected, both parties looked at the Blood Moon Elder after the shout. Noticing that everyone finally stopped fighting, the Blood Moon Elder hurriedly pointed to the sky. "Look for yourselves." Everyone looked up, and what lay before them stunned them utterly. The clouds in the sky above them seemed to be burnt as a result of the maximum compression and outward expansion of spirit energy. Burnt clouds, Ultimate Elder was astonished. The Ultimate Elder and the Pagoda Sword Master were high-level figures and knew what was going on roughly after a slight inspection. If they continued the fight with you ancient clan, the spirit energy would be expanded to the maximum in no time, and the massive pressure released was sufficient to destroy this mainland. Given the scale of the explosion produced by the spirit energy, this mainland would completely disappear from the Earth's surface in at most 3 to 5 breaths' time. Moreover, in this extremely short span of time, even a holy venerate level figure who came here might not be able to escape this place alive. Similarly, people from the Yu ancient clan noticed the unusual phenomenon in the sky. "Everyone, stop!" The green-robed Yutong, one of the 3 generals of ancient Yu clan, shouted with a deep frown. Their martial skills had exceeded the limit that this low-level mainland could bear, and if they continued to fight, they would be unable to obtain the spiritual abode or even leave this place alive. Both parties did not dare to make a move recklessly. The main force of both parties had ordered to stop the fight, and the burnt clouds in the sky caused uneasiness. No one dared to take any rash and unconsidered actions. "Everyone, you all have seen the situation." Pagoda Sword Master looked at the 3 generals of the ancient Yu clan and said. Their powers had already exceeded the limit that this mainland could bear, and they were even gathered together. The originally perilous spirit energy of this mainland could no longer withstand the powers unleashed in the intense mass battle. If they continued the battle, the spirit energy of this mainland and, subsequently, the entire mainland would explode ultimately. All of them would die here. A one-eyed elderly of Yu ancient clan coldly said, "It is simple. Since we can't battle in the same place, we can split up the battlefield." Their objective for coming to this mainland was to obtain Yu Yun's spiritual abode and would definitely not put an end to their plan. On the other hand, the powerful figures of this mainland, with Ultimate Elder and Pagoda Sword Master in the lead, would not sit idly and wait for death. This war was unavoidable yet also could not continue in this way. Otherwise, both sides would be over. The only strategy now was to disperse the powers of the masses to prevent the suicidal act of an aggressive battle at one spot. The other 2 generals' eyes brightened at that suggestion. As long as the battlefield was spread out, the pressure from the war would naturally be dispersed. By then, such a circumstance would not happen. Yu Yun's spiritual abode must be obtained and had to be brought back to Yu ancient clan's headquarters no matter what. This was the do-or-die order given by the senior executives of the headquarters. "Just as you wish," the Pagoda Sword Master said as he swiftly swept a gaze across the 3 generals. Under the circumstances, it was unrealistic to expect the ancient Yu clan to abandon their invasion and choose to leave, so they had no choice but to fight on. However, they were unable to gather in one spot, so they were forced to split up the battlefield. In the end, the land was divided into 3 zones. The eastern part of the mainland became the eastern battlefield, the northern part became the northern battlefield, the southern part became the southern battlefield. The Ultimate Elder assumed command of the eastern battlefield, the Pagoda Sword Master of the northern battlefield, while the powerful cultivators of the ancient clan held the southern battlefield. "Go." Enchanting looked at the Blood Moon Elder and said. The 3 main battlefields had been formed, and there would be no fighting here. Enchanting wanted to leave before the ancient Yu clan noticed herself and the Blood Moon Elder. Although Blood Moon Elder had not yet been exposed, if he remained in the ancient Yu clan, he would die. He had no choice but to leave with Enchanting. When he heard that, the Blood Moon Elder nodded. He threw Enchanting onto his left shoulder and stepped out. He instantly vanished on the spot. The formation of the three main battlefields was not good news for the Ultimate Elder or Pagoda Sword Master. Splitting the battlefield was equivalent to dividing their manpower and strength. The ancient Yu clan had no problem dividing their manpower and strength. The ancient Yu clan had many more powerful cultivators than this mainland. The more the powerful cultivators from this mainland were split up, the better it was for the clan. After half a day, the Blood Moon Elder's huge body suddenly appeared in the falling sky valley of the Nine Knights dynasty. Blood Moon Elder's appearance caused an uproar in the entire Nine Knights dynasty. They only relaxed when they finally realized that the Blood Moon Elder was a friend and not an enemy. When he saw that Enchanting had returned, little Luo Shui ran out of the valley. He hugged Enchanting's ankles and batted his eyelids at Enchanting. Enchanting smiled when she saw little Luo Shui running towards her on his short legs. She picked him up and hugged him. While he was in her embrace, little Luo Shui suddenly spotted the little white tiger in Enchanting's arms. It was as if he had discovered a new world. His small white hand immediately caught hold of the little white tiger's ears. If you were not so small. The little white tiger glared at little Luo Shui. Has little Luo Shui been good? Enchanting put down Luo Shui and laughed softly. When he heard that, little Luo Shui held on to the little white tiger's ear while nodding at Enchanting. Before long, Perfected Xianqin, the Yi family and the Si family all came out of the valley. Everyone was shocked to see the Blood Moon Elder's huge body. Enchanting had no choice but to explain the circumstances to them. After hearing Enchanting's explanation, everyone relaxed. Many Falling Sky Valley disciples surrounded the Blood Moon Elder and stared at him, as if studying his expression. Enchanting, what's going on? Perfected Xianqin looked at Enchanting and asked. Enchanting did not hide anything and explained all that had happened to them. Perfected Xianqin was very shocked to learn about the division of the battlefield. The Nine Knights dynasty was south of the mainland and was considered to be in the southern zone. Based on the division of the mainland's battlefield, it would be under the command of the ancient clan. Enchanting, are these powerful cultivators from the ancient clan the same as the ancient clan that came to our Falling Sky Valley previously? Perfected Xianqin looked at Enchanting with a somewhat worried expression. We're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.